What is up guys, it's SS Modern Warfare here, Gamertag Banjo Chicken, and welcome back to another episode of Hardware Tutorials. So in this tutorial what we're going to be doing is swapping out the LED light on an Xbox One controller. All Xbox One controllers just have a plain white LED inside them, and you know, that could be kind of boring for some people. Maybe you want to change it out for red, green, blue, orange, yellow, purple, anything. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be swapping out that white LED. I'm probably just going to go with blue, but like I say, you can use any other color you want. So first thing you're going to have to do is open up the controller. So I'm going to show some sped up footage of me opening up the Xbox One controller here, but I do have a full separate tutorial, full guide on how to open the Xbox One controller, so go ahead and click that. I'll put a link at the top right hand corner of the screen. You can click on that to watch the full guide on how to open up an Xbox One controller. And once you have it opened up, as you can see here in the sped up footage, we're going to swap out the LED on the bottom PCB. So the kind of LEDs you want to use are 0603 LEDs. The LED on the actual PCB itself is slightly bigger than an 0603, but I believe an 0603 LED will fit fine. So that's what we're going to do here, and it's just one LED we have to swap out, so it might be quite a short video, who knows. And then we'll put the controller back together and see how that looks when we have it all back together. Okay guys, so what we've gone and done is I've just put some tape to hold this in place because the two battery prongs prevent it from being flat. So some tape on here means that it's not going to jiggle about too much while working on it. Obviously it would be ideal to have some kind of clamp or something that you can make sure that that's not going to budge, but we just have to make do with what we have. Okay, so the trick with getting one of these LEDs off is to basically float it off the board. So in order to do that, we just try and add a good amount of solder to the iron itself. So just create a blob on the iron and then stick that on the PCB, and then boom, it comes off. Now unfortunately this does ruin the LED. Not gonna sugarcoat anything here. That LED is now basically completely ruined, which is fine because we're replacing it anyway. That's the whole point. But you know, that for me, that's the easiest way of getting rid of the LED, but it will potentially render that LED completely useless. But that's us got it off the board. You can see there we've just got our two contact points. See if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, I tried to get a little bit better angle on there so you can see that a little bit better. So basically there's a white dot right here, and that signifies the negative point. So this one is negative, this one is positive. So with the LEDs, and I'll put an image up on screen right now, on the back of these LEDs, and remember they are tiny, there are markers for positive and negative. It'll either be an arrow or a T or something like that. So if it's a T, then the T or the cross part is the positive, and then on the other end where it's just a line, that's the negative point. You'll see it in the image. So you just need to line up the negative point with the white dot on the PCB. And these are very, very small LEDs, so you have to be very careful when taking them out, because you know, they could ping off and disappear, and you'll never find them if they land on the floor because they are tiny. So one thing you can use that would help with taking off the LED, I didn't use it, I just forgot, I didn't need it, but sometimes it does help, is flux. So put a bit of flux on the points so that, you know, the solder will take better. Should have really done that to begin with, but for some reason it came off fine without flux. So grab the LED with the tweezers once you have it positioned, and then you want to just melt the solder on one side. That will attach the LED, should be fixed in place. and then just bring the soldering iron around to the other side and melt the solder on the other side, and that should join it. And that's it really, that's all you have to do. It's pretty easy with a small soldering iron. You can see the one I'm using has a very small tip. That's probably the best thing to use. Try and just find a small precision soldering iron for it. You can do it with bigger irons as well. It's just a bit more clumsy, a bit more awkward. You're more likely to burn the points off that way, but it does work as well. You can get it to work with the larger soldering irons. So just to finish up, we're going to clean the flux off. If you're using flux, it's best to always clean the flux off at the end. I use rubbing alcohol, 99% pure rubbing alcohol. That's what you want there. That's the best for removing flux. It also removes burn marks, so if you have any, if you were trying multiple times or you were using maybe a hotter soldering iron, you may have burn marks around it and it may look messy, but a lot of the time you think it's burnt and it's, oh my god, it's all black or all around it, but to be honest, most of the time it's not actually properly burnt. You can use rubbing alcohol and it'll get rid of it and clean it up, so don't worry too much about that. As long as you've got the LED fixed in place and it's round the right way, then that should be it. So we've got our blue LED on there instead of our white LED. Now we need to test it to make sure that it's going to work before we put the whole controller back together. No point in putting the whole controller back together and finding out that it's the wrong way around and the LED doesn't function. So that's it, let's go ahead and do that, put it back together. Okay, so in order to test this, what we're going to have to do is put this back together, but put it back together without the screws first, just to make sure that that it's working. You don't want to screw everything down and then have to reopen it again because it's not, the LED's not working or something. So I'm going to slot this back in, and putting these things back together can be pretty damn awkward. There we go. So that's in there, then just twist this around. And we're going to push this back together. That'll connect the 2 points. So remember, the 2 PCBs plug into each other. So we just plug them in. Grab our back plate and just put that on just now. So we've basically, it's not fully back together, I haven't got the sticks on or anything, but just put it back together to the point where you're able to put the batteries in so that we can test the LED. So I'm going to put this battery in, put this battery in, and then we'll flip this over and turn it on. And how about that? A blue LED. So here we are, guys, the finished result. We've got it all put back together, all the screws are in. You can see that's all attached. Now if I turn it on, we get the LED. Pretty damn awesome. In fact, the TV screens, if I turn that off, you'll get it right there. Awesome blue LED. Okay, so that's it, guys. That is how you swap out the LED on an Xbox One controller. Again, any color that you want, totally up to you. Just personalizes your controller a little bit, I suppose. And I will be doing a tutorial on how to do this with the Xbox One console itself, the power LED on the Xbox One console. For buying the LEDs, remember it's 0603 LEDs. If you live in the United Kingdom, I can highly recommend Bright Components on eBay. If you go on eBay and you just search 0603 LED, You will find them, Bright Components, very, very good. I always buy them from them. If you live anywhere else in the world, I'm sure there's plenty of places online that you can buy 0603 LEDs. So that's it guys, make sure you like the video if you liked it or found the information useful, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
This is really how we live.